Welcome back everybody. In this video, we are going to take a look at a DAX question that was asked on the Enterprise DNA forum, and the question was asked by Matty. And in case if you want to follow along and download the files, you can simply visit the Enterprise DNA forum and you can go to this link and download the files. And to explain the scenario that we are going to cover, what we are basically trying to do is we have a simple table, let's assume. So in the first column, we have financial level. In the second column, we have a date which is named as completed. And then for the combination of financial level and the completed date, we have some revenue. Then we have a slicer over the dates and the customer name. So what we want to do is in that time period, we want to identify top three dates that are not zero, and then in those top three dates we want to identify the financial level. So you can see that in the first version of the measure I have listed out the dates that are less than 429. So you can see that we have 331, 4, we have 7th of April, then we have 2nd of April. So these are the three dates that are less than 29th of April in which we have some revenue, and on these dates we want to identify what are those financial levels that have made some revenue. So let's get started and I will explain to you how we can achieve that calculation. So before writing the actual DAX, what we can do is just take a quick look at the data model that we are going to use so that we are all on the same page. And the data model contains multiple tables, but we are only interested in the date table, data table, job category, and as well as customer table. Customer table is not really important because it is only being used inside a slicer. So the revenue measure is getting calculated on the data table. The job category contains the financial level that we have on the matrix. Then we are using the date column from the date table in our slicer. So what we can do is we can get rid of everything from the matrix, and so that we can start from the scratch. And I'm going to create a new measure. Let's name it something like V1 because this is going to be the version 1, and we are going to take a look at two different variations as well. So the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to retrieve all the values of the financial level from the filter context. So for that we can create a variable, and I'm going to name it as financial level in filter context, just to make sure that the name of the variable is verbose so that it is self-explanatory. And to retrieve the values from the filter context, we are going to use the values function on the job category table that contains the financial level column. Then we need to create another variable. It will be named as result. So this will be the final variable on this level. And what we are going to do is we are going to write calculate, and we are going to close it as well. So in the first argument, we are going to compute something. So let's write dot dot dot. And first of all, let's think about the filter context. So as we have seen that we have a selection over the date slicer, and in those dates, we want to identify the dates that do not have a zero and have at least some revenue. And in case if we want to access all the dates that are selected in that slicer, we need to use the all selected function. So we can write all selected over the date table. And since we have the financial level on the matrix, we also need to make sure that we are removing that particular value from the filter context. So we can use the remove filters function over the job category. Then we need to write financial level. And now that our filter context is prepared, what we can do is we can write the innermost calculation for the calculate. So from here onwards, we are going to do is first we are going to declare a variable. So this will be a combination of the financial level and the date column as we have seen in the first table. So for that we can write financial level and selected dates. So we are going to use the summarize columns function, the summarize function, and not the summarize columns. Summarize columns is not available inside a measure. So what we are going to do is use the data table as a way of summarizing from those two tables, which are job category and the date table. So I can write job category financial level, and then I can use the date column from the date table. Let's close that. So what it will do is it will provide only those combination of financial level and the date column that exist inside the data table. Then we are going to create another variable in which we are going to store the value of the revenue row by row for the first variable that we have created, and the name of this variable will be basically a financial level and dates with revenue. And the code of that variable will be basically an add columns over the previous variable. So we can write financial level and selected dates, and I'm going to create a virtual column that will be revenue, and I'm going to call the revenue measure so that we can initiate context transition. And for each row of that variable we have assigned the revenue. Now that table contains the revenue which also has the 0, so we need to filter out those values or those rows. So for that we can create another variable and we're going to name it as remove zeros, and for that we can use the filter function on the previous variable. So we can write financial level and dates with revenue, and we are basically going to check that the revenue should not be equal to 0. It can be greater than 0 or less than 0, but should not be strictly equal to 0. And then what we are going to do is we are simply going to retrieve the dates from this variable, the remove 0 variable. So for that what we can do is we can create another variable. So I'm going to say keep only dates, and first of all I'm going to select only the dates values. So I can write remove zeros, and I'm going to say @date, and then I'm also going to access the date table, the date column. So let's write date. And now since I have a column that contains only date column, what we can do is access only the distinct values from that table. And before that, let me just fix the spelling of remove zeros. So that is going to be remove, and let's fix it here as well. So on this function I can simply use the distinct function, and that will get rid of the duplicate dates that are there that are getting returned by the select columns function, because for a particular financial level there can be multiple dates. So we are only going to store the distinct values. And next what we are going to do is identify the top 3 dates in a descending order. So for that what we can do is we can create another variable and we are going to name it as last 3 dates, and that will be basically a top n 3 over the keep only dates, and we are going to use the date column that we have accessed, and we are going to use the descending function or the descending keyword. Now that we have only those dates that are less than the last date in the data model and are also the top 3 dates based on the descending order, just to verify, what we can do is we can write here concatenate x over the last 3 dates, and in the expression we are going to use the date column, and we can use a delimiter as well. So let's close that, write a comma, and if I confirm that measure, and let's see, we are actually getting an error, so we actually need to return the result as well. So we need to write return result. Let's press enter, and we can drag and drop our measure inside that matrix, and you can see that, as I've already shown you in the start, that we were getting 31,347,42. So that means the measure is working up till here, and we can write more code. So let's go back to the editor, and instead of returning the concatenate x part, let's get rid of everything. And now what we are going to do is, now that we have retrieved those last 3 dates, what we can simply do is check which rows from the remove 0 variable are actually part of those last 3 dates. And for that what we can do is simply write that var dates in last 3 dates, or maybe you can name something like rows or job category in last 3 dates, and we are going to use the filter function. So we can write that remove zeros, and we are going to say that the date in the last 3 dates, and this is going to return a table that comprises of job category and the date, And now what we can do is simply try to sum the revenue column that we have created inside that table. So first of all, let's try to write return sumx over the dates in last 3 dates, and I can summarize the revenue column. So let's write revenue, let's write a comma, and if I press enter and exit out of that, you can see that we only get one single value for each row, because right now we have actually removed the job category financial level 1 column from the filter context. So what we can do is use the variable that we have created at the start to check that if each row of that dates in last 3 date variable is actually available in the filter context. And for that, what we can do is we can write another variable. So I'm going to write is in filter context is equal to filter the dates in last 3 dates variable, and I'm going to say that the I'm going to say that the job category financial level should be in the first variable, which was financial level in the filter context. So if I close that, and now if I return sumx over is in filter context and summarize the revenue column, and let's write a comma, and if I press enter, you can see that we get the same result that we saw in the beginning. And just to verify, let me just bring a measure that I have already created earlier. So I can bring this version and not a different one. So you can see that we are getting exactly the same result, and this is actually correct. And now just to verify that we are actually getting the correct result, what we can do is we can create a new calculated table that will actually help us in debugging, identifying and verifying that the code that we have written so far is actually returning the correct result. So let's create a copy of that code that we have written so far, and let me just find that measure. And what I'm going to do is I am simply going to copy everything from here till this part, and let's go back and create a new table. And we are not going to bother naming that table because that is not of any interest to us. And we can simply write here that return dates in last 3 dates, and if I click confirm, you can see that I get a table. But for sure I know that it is not actually returning the correct result just yet, because we actually need to mimic the behavior of the slicer. And for that, what we can do is wrap that code inside a calculate table, and let's indent everything. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to here write that date should be greater than equal to dt. So I'm going to use the date time literal, and I'm going to write that it should be greater than 2021-0315. And also the customer name should be equal to DHL supply chain. So let's close that and let's close calculate table. So if I go back to the report for a second, you can see that for spare parts we are reporting 655.56. So if I select spare parts, you can see that we get 286.66, 368.9. So let's use a calculator just to sum those values. So we have 286.66 plus 368.9. If I add that, we get 655.56. So that means the table that we have created inside that measure virtually is actually returning the correct result, and we are also retrieving or showing the correct values inside that matrix. So that is one way of debugging the code that you have written so far, that you can use a calculate table just to verify the virtual table that you're creating inside your calculation. So now that we know that our calculation is working and we actually understand how and what is actually happening behind the scene with the help of calculate table, what we can do is take a look at 2 different ways of computing that calculation, and this will actually help you in understanding how you can also use different ways of computing a same problem. And what we are going to do is first of all create a duplicate of that measure that we have already created. So let me just copy and paste. And the idea behind this calculation is that we are not going to rely on the values and the filter function this time. So let's get rid of that part, and I'm going to remove the return result variable part as well as the last variable that we have created inside calculate, and we are going to modify and convert that calculate to become calculate table. And instead of returning a scalar value, this time we are going to return the dates in last 3 dates. So this is basically going to return the same calculated table that we have seen a few minutes ago. And what we are going to do is we are going to use the calculate function. And in the first argument, we are going to calculate the revenue measure, and we are going to inject the calculate table part as a filter context. So if I click on confirm for a moment and make sure that I rename the variable, the name of the measure, and let's confirm that. And if I bring it to the matrix, you can see that we are returning the same grand total value for each cell. So at the moment we know that the calculation behind the scene is working correctly, but how can we make sure that for each cell we are only reporting the value for that financial level? So let's go back for a moment. So with the help of calculate table, we have created a table that contains the financial level, the date column, and the revenue column. So in case, instead of using the filter values construct to check that if the value is in filter context, what we can do is we can use the keep filter function to create an intersection between the filter context that exists outside of calculate table and the one that is being created by the calculate table. So let's indent the code, and if I close the keep filters function and if I click on confirm, let's go back and we can see that we are reporting the correct value for each cell. So you can verify that version 1 and version 2 are actually returning the correct value. So how is it working? So think about it. When we are at the maintenance level, what calculate table is going to return is maintenance level, then it is going to return the rental, it is also going to return the spare parts and the service external, and there are also dates as well and the revenue column. So keep filters is going to create an intersection between the maintenance and that table. So how many values will be retained from that table? Only those where there is a maintenance in the external filter context and the filter context that is being created by calculate table. Then we move on to rental. So rental is going to create the initial filter context. Calculate table is going to return all the values of the jobs financial category. Then there is going to be an intersection between the rental and the table returned by the calculate table. And in that way, we are only going to return the tables or the rows for that rental part only. And then finally, when we inject that summarize or a much short table into the filter context, calculate is going to compute the revenue only for rental. And similarly, the same process happens for each row. So that was second way of computing the calculation. And now let's look at another way of computing the same calculation. So let's create a copy of the version 2 measure, and let's create another measure. And I'm going to name it as version 3. So the idea behind this calculation is that since we are actually computing the revenue by the outer calculate, we do not actually need to use the add columns part because we are actually duplicating the same thing in outside of the calculate and inside of calculate. So we can simply get rid of that. And instead of this, we can simply here write that the revenue should not be equal to 0. And in the first part, we are going to use the correct variable, and then we can keep everything as it is. And if I click on confirm, just to make sure that if the code is working or not, and let's drag that measure inside the matrix, and you can see that the code is actually returning the same value for each cell. And in case if I try to change the filter context by changing the dates, right now the values are not changing, maybe because of how the data is distributed. But let's say we select a different customer. So let's say we select A.N. Richards, then we are returning the correct value. If I select AB or something different, so if I select couple of values, you can see that all the three measures are actually returning the correct value. And if I clear the filter, you can see that we still get the correct value. All three measures are actually returning the same value for each row. So now we know that the code is actually working. And that was all about this video on how you can actually use a complex logic of traversing back in time from the end date and identifying the top three dates, and based on that how you can compute the revenue and show only those values that exist in the filter context. And that was all for this video. If you have any questions for me, just let me know in the comment section, and I will see you in the next video.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Enterprise DNA TV. If you enjoyed the content covered in this particular tutorial, please throw the video a like. It really helps us and we really appreciate it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Enterprise DNA TV channel. We have a huge amount of content coming out all the time from myself and a range of content creators, all dedicated to improving the way that you use Power BI and the Power Platform. Lastly, check out Enterprise DNA's website, plenty of resources and further learning that you can access very easily. All the best. Take care.